voice. I have a cold. And I'm going to read Daniel chapter 1 today. In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem and besieged it. And the Lord delivered Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand, along with some of the articles of the temple of God. These he carried off to the temple of his God in Babylonia, and put in the treasure house of his God. Then the king ordered Ashpenaz, chief of his court officials, to bring into the king's service some of the Israelites from the royal family and the nobility, young men without any physical defect, handsome, showing aptitude for every kind of learning, well-informed, quick to understand, and qualified to serve in the king's palace. He was to teach them the language and literature of the Babylonians. The king assigned them a daily amount of food and wine from the king's table. They were to be trained for 3 years, and after that they were to enter the king's service. Among those who were chosen were some from Judah: Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The chief official gave them new names: to Daniel the name Belteshazzar, to Hananiah Shadrach, to Mishael Meshach, and to Azariah Abednego. But Daniel resolved not to defile himself with the royal food and wine. And he asked the chief official for permission not to defile himself this way. Now God had caused the official to show favor and compassion to Daniel, but the official told Daniel, "I am afraid of my lord the king, who has assigned your food and drink. Why should he see you looking worse than the other young men your age? The king would have my head because of you." Daniel then said to the guard, whom the chief official had appointed over Daniel and Hananiah and Mishael and Azariah, "Please test your servants for 10 days. Give us nothing but vegetables to eat and water to drink. Then compare our appearance to that of the young men who eat the royal food, and treat your servants in accordance with what you see." So he agreed to this and tested them for 10 days. At the end of the 10 days, they looked healthier and better nourished than any of the young men who ate the royal food. So the guard took away their choice food and the wine they were to drink, and gave them vegetables instead. To these 4 young men God gave knowledge and understanding of all kinds of literature and learning. And Daniel could understand visions and dreams of all kinds. At the end of the time set by the king to bring them into his service, the chief official presented them to Nebuchadnezzar. The king talked to them, and he found none equal to Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. So they entered the king's service. In every matter of wisdom and understanding about which the king questioned them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians, enchanters in his whole kingdom. And Daniel remained there until the 1st year of King Cyrus. Now, as a brief summary over it, here are some notes from my study Bible. Okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to start with their names. Their names were changed from names that had, godly meanings to names that had to do with the gods that Nebuchadnezzar believed in. The lowercase g gods. Okay, let's see. Daniel means God is my judge. His name was changed to Belteshazzar, which means Bel, B-E-L, protect his life. Bel is a god, lowercase g, of Babylon, or Babylonia. And Bel is also called Marduk, and he's the chief Babylonian god. Okay, so Daniel went from God is my judge to Bel protect his life. He went from a true God, meaning with the capital G, to a lowercase g. Hananiah means the Lord shows grace. His name was changed to Shadrach, which means under the command of Aku. Aku is another lowercase god of Babylonia. And he is the moon god. Mishael means who is like God. His name was changed to Meshach, which is who is like Aku. Azariah means the Lord helps. His new name was Abednego, which means servant of Nego/Nebu. And, or it was also Nebu, which is the god of learning and writing. So you had Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, whose names all had something to do with the one true God, and their names were changed to accommodate the Babylonian culture with lowercase gods in their meaning. Oh, there was also the whole defiling of the body, eating that food. Daniel and his companions did not want to defile themselves with the food from the king's table because it was likely sacrificed to their gods, the lowercase g gods of Babylonia. And he didn't want to eat that because he served the one true God. So instead of eating that sacrificed food, and, what is that word? I guess contaminating himself. I can't think of the other word. Defiling himself. Instead of defiling himself with that tainted food that's been sacrificed to some other god, of the moon or whatever, he just decided not to eat it. So he ate the vegetables and drank water. He honored God by not defiling himself. God honored him by making him look healthier and being healthier than the rest of them by eating the vegetables and the water. So that was another point to bring up, just in case you didn't understand the defiling, because I didn't until last Sunday when my First Lady clarified it with her sermon. And those are my notes, and that was chapter 1. I'll be reading chapter 2 shortly. Thank you for listening, and thank you for finding time to listen. If you can, just play this in the background while you're doing stuff around the house. You can watch if you want to. You can read along, whatever you want to do, as long as you're getting this word in. I myself need to read more often, so this is helping me as well as hopefully helping you. If you're in that boat with me where you don't find time or you're just not motivated, maybe you don't understand what it means, so hopefully me breaking it down like this will help. I'm reading from the NIV version, New International Version Bible. I have large print, as you can see, and it's a study Bible. I've never had a study Bible until recently, and this really does help because there's a lot of notes in here that clarify what you're reading. Because if you're like me and you read like the King James, I didn't understand what I was reading, so it wasn't very motivating for me to sit down and read if I didn't understand it. I mean, it took me just a long time to figure out how to read it. So, get a Bible that's easy to read, that you can understand, so you can get the word in. There's no excuse for not reading. If you, if you can't afford to go get a Bible, just watch this. Or listen if you can. So hopefully this will help, and it's very important to go in and get reading because time is running out, and it's important to know what's going on and what you need to be prepared with, and it's good to get closer to God and get that relationship strong. So when times get rough, you won't be shaken. You can stand firm. And I hope this is helpful.